Okay, two chapters left. This week and next week, we're going to be doing a lot of work with chapter 6. The last 2 weeks, we're working with chapter 7. Chapter 6 is all about the thing called classes. Chapter 7 is going to be about something called arrays. But after today, we only have 3 weeks left of class. I don't know if you realize it snuck up on you that fast, but after today, there will only be 3 classes. All right, in the video you watched and you started to learn about classes, and we've been doing our programs and just typing away, shooby dooby doo, dooby doo, dooby doo. And then we started to get some blocks of code called methods that we were hanging out down here. And then we used them and we reused them and so forth.
Hey, sorry I'm a minute late. I was getting some pork roast.
You were eating a pork roast.
Yep, it's that time of year again.
Nice, nice. Did you make it with apples?
It was a overnight thing. It's just a pork roast.
You didn't smoke it then overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice, nice. I smoked a ham Sunday last week and then used it to make pot pie and stuff like that. But
Ooh, that sounds good.
yeah. So I'm
All
We're
going
right.
going to
to,
Jack's house, man.
what's that?
We're all going to Jack's house.
Okay,
Nope, this pork roast is all mine. All right, let's get on to the class.
thank you. This is procedural programming. Everything is locked inside of here. And what's going to happen with these classes is we're going to start to look at, hey, I have a whole bunch of these methods that are all interrelated and are all pretty cool. And I'd like to be able to reuse them other places. I'd like other programs to be able to use that stuff. So
Aha.
what has evolved is these methods get moved over and stored in this thing called a class. So they're just stored there. It's not a program that we're going to run, but it's a program that's going to be used from this some kind of demo or driver file. So we have a regular program, and this is going to look cleaner because all of this stuff is hidden over in this thing called a class. So that's the overview of what you were looking at. When I want to use this class, I need to remember this terminology, instantiate an object. Instantiate an object. Okay. Now, the object is going to be of type whatever this class is called. So I'm now going with data types, and we have a bunch of data types. We have int, we have double, we have all of these different data types, and this is now going to be another data type. But the variable that I create, which is actually called an object, not a variable, they're going to work the same. This object is going to let me use everything in this class. So you should have gone through and you've seen this thing called a UML chart. Oh boy, that's kind of not really a rectangle, that's a parallelogram. This is a UML chart. And inside of this UML chart, the very first thing we have is whatever we want to call this. And the one that you looked at was called rectangle. So that is my new data type. So I might be getting ready and saying int num1, double num2, rectangle. It's a data type. R1. Okay. So this is a new data type that we're creating. Now, as you watch the video, you should have seen some things put in this data type. And the first one, well, what's important? What do I need to know about a rectangle? What's the most important things?
The length and the width.
An area.
Length and the width. And now there's some question about area. Okay. These guys are now called fields instead of variables. They're going to have types. We're going to give them types. Double, double, and this would have to be double. Okay. So if the length is 4, so under R1, it has the field length, and we said it's 4, and width, and we said it's 6. What's the area?
Area
24.
equals length times width.
Yeah, so you had to calculate it, right? So, okay, I had to calculate it. Now, what if the length changes to 7? And I said, hey, what's the area right now? What would you have to do?
You have
Well,
to
what
manually
is it?
change the area.
You just told me it's 24, but now we have to change the area. Well, what if I forget to change it and I say, what's the area? And you say 24. That's not so good, is it? From the lecture, what's that called? This is called stale data.
Stale data.
Stale data. We don't want anything we have to calculate. We only want what we need. Because
Oh, I
otherwise,
see.
I might forget to calculate it, and that becomes a problem. I may get something that's no longer very good.
So only parameters then.
Only the what you absolutely need. Anything that's calculated, you don't want to do that. Okay. So I have 2 fields, and from the UML chart, what's this mean if I put a minus in there?
But it's private.
Excellent. They are private, which means I can't say length and width inside of here. They are hidden. They're available over here. I can work with them all day over here. I just can't work with them in my demo or driver program, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So that's my fields. Boom, done. Now, we talked about these methods that we want to put over here, and we have some different types. Hopefully you watched the video and you saw we have one called get length. We have one called get width. There were 2 of them. We have one called set length. I didn't make my thing big enough. Set width. Well, when I get ready to start and I create variables, I usually don't know what they are. So we want to have 2 methods that will allow me to set the width. I want to set the length. Okay. These 2 guys are called mutators. What are the other 2 methods called? Well, I want to say, hey, what is the length, by the way? What is the width, by the way? I don't think many people watch the videos. These are called accessor methods. I want to be able to access what the value is there. So when I'm looking at these UML charts, I'd like to be able to use these in my driver program. So I need to make all of these methods public.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Why do we need to set, okay, so we have the get length and the get width. Why do we also need to set up the length and the width?
For here, the program is going to say, what length would you like to use? What length?
I think it's because we need to change the data without directly accessing it from the object.
Correct. So when my program runs, I'm going to ask the user, hey, buddy, what's the length? And you're going to say 4. Well, now I need that 4 to get over to here. So the set is going to send it over so that it's now stored inside of my class. Good question. Just like whatever's stored over here, if I wanted to go get it, I'd have to use the, hey, by the way, class, what is get length? What is the length over there? Tell me about it. Tell me about it, stud.
Is it 70? I mean, 7?
No,
70.
I'm just being funny in general, kind of thing going on.
What the hell did I say 70?
Okay. So over here, I said we're going to get ready and do int num1, double num2, rectangle R1, but this isn't complete. This way that I instantiate an object, I need a little more. I need the data type, but the way these objects work, I'm going to be writing something that looks more like this. Rectangle R1 equals
Equals new rectangle.
new rectangle. Yeah. And you've seen this layout a couple of times already.
Because you're creating a new instance of the object.
A new instance of the object. We are instantiating an object. We are calling it R1. Okay. That was the kind of wiki type version from what you should have seen in the videos. Just kind of an overview. I didn't go in depth. You were supposed to go in depth. So what we're going to do today in class is we are going to create a class, and it is going to be called Circle. You may have seen it mentioned at the end of the video. So what do I have? I have something called Circle. And again, this is that UML chart. I'm going to get ready and create my class. Then you type everything up for the class. And then the second thing you're going to do is create that demo/driver program. And that's going to be used to work with this. We'll actually just be testing it. So what's important? What do I need to know about a circle?
Radius.
It's radius, right? It's radius. What data type should we make radius?
Double.
A
Double.
double. And we said anything we put over here is going to start with the word private. So private radius, and we're going to make it, in fact, a double. I think that's the only field I need. That's the only variable. Everything else from the circle is going to be derived from the radius. The area, the circumference, the diameter. Once I know the radius, then I can find all of those other things. Well, I need to be able to give the radius a value. And we said we're going to go public set radius. And I want to be able to get it. And these are nice and simple. When you look in the book, in the code list, these are nice and simple. That reminds me, some of you on that last program, you did some stuff. Everything you need is right in the book, in the chapter. But there were things like hash maps going on and encodes. And oh man, that was just, woo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I have this set radius. Now, this set radius, what type of method is it going to be? Is this a void method or a value returning?
It's a void method.
It's a void method, right? Am I sending something over? Yeah, I'm going to be sending the radius in. So, and I'm just making some notes for myself. This is a void method. Get radius, when I call get radius over here, I'm not sending anything in, but I'm going to be returning a double. So a void method and a value returning method. What other methods might we have? Get area. I probably should have camel cased these. Capital R, capital R. Get area. Yep, I'm not sending anything in, but I'm going to be returning a double. We could have one more. Get circum for the circumference. I'm not sending anything in, but I'm getting a double back. Ah, so now that I have this, I'm ready to make my class. I'm ready to make the class. Once the class is made, then I'm going to run a program. Hey, please enter the radius, set radius and send it over there. Get area. Oh, the work's tucked away. I can pull it back over. Get so on and so on. So let's look at. I want to be like you. I want to talk like. Who sings that song?
Uncle Louie in the Jungle Book.
Yep, Baloo the bear. All right, so we covered a whole bunch of this, and wow, here we go. Here is the class rectangle. This is what you're going to be using to do circle. Public class circle. Private double radius. Set the value. A nice little get the value. Oh, here we're setting length and width. Here we're getting length. This is page 333. This is still the class, you know, and I got some things going on in here. Oh, the gets, all they do is return a value. Nice little demo. You were doing this with the code listings. I now have a program. Up here, I don't have public static void main. None of this is up there. Okay. I instantiate the object. I use the object's name to call the method. Does this look familiar? Kind of like anything else you've seen. Like down here, remember we had something along the lines of num equals, here comes a class name.
Like keyboard, get next line.
Yeah. How about like math dot or keyboard dot? So this is a class that's written and tucked away. We have to let everybody know what we're using it because we don't need objects. We can just call the class name. But for ours, we need the object so it knows what type of class it is. It's a rectangle class. And then it goes and uses the method. Remember, the set was a void method. The get is returning a value. So I have to do something with it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Object-oriented programming. We instantiated that object R1. You're going to need to instantiate an object of type class over here. What do you think? You got it? All right. Use the same concepts as rectangle and rectangle's driver program.